Today we start our labs for pickling. These are the ingredients for the brine: white vinegar, table salt, and you will also be using water. These are the vegetables that we will be using for the pickling activity in lab today. We will begin starting with the brine. You will use a medium saucepan, and also you will be adding into the saucepan the 1 cup of vinegar, 1 cup, three cups of water, 3 cups of water. How many cups? 3 cups of water. And also a 1/4 cup of salt. Only a 1/4 cup. And this all gets mixed into the saucepan. Once the ingredients is in the pot, this is the job of the stove operator. Only one student will be the stove operator, and you will turn the temperature up to 7. 7 should be the temperature. And then you will be stirring it until it is at a boil. Once it gets to a boil, you will be turning the temperature down to 2. And that is called a simmer. It will simmer. You will be coming up to me and receiving your vegetables. Once you receive the vegetables from myself, you will be taking it to the sink and rinsing it. Now, before you rinse it, you should not have the sink filled with water for soap and doing the dishes. You need to do this before the dishwasher fills the sink up. You will be coming up to me and receiving your vegetables. Once you receive the vegetables from myself, you will be taking it to the sink and rinsing it. Now, before you rinse it, you should not have the sink filled with water for soap and doing the dishes. You need to do this before the dishwasher fills the sink up. The first ingredient we will be doing is how to peel garlic. You will be using a paring knife, not the chef's knife. And this is how you do it. All 3 cloves needs to be peeled. Do not leave any of the wrappings on the garlic. Now, once those are peeled, you put them to the side and you grab the carrot. The carrot will be next. Now, you are chopping the carrot, just like we chop the apples in class. Make sure you use the bear claw so you do not chop your fingers off. Again, you will be using the paring knife to do this, not the chef's knife. The second ingredient you will be chopping, or actually the third ingredient you will be chopping, is the cucumber. All cucumbers become pickles. Again, we are chopping the cucumber. And all these ingredients will be going into the mason jar. Now, the stove operator should be at the stove and watching over the brine. The last ingredient you will be chopping is the radish. Now, the radish is a little bit harder to chop because it's hard and solid. Again, you will be chopping these. And putting each ingredient to the side so you have room on the cutting board. Now, you will be chopping the green beans. And you're not chopping the whole green beans, you're just chopping the two sides off to get rid of the small pieces. Now, as you can tell, I did not use a damp cloth underneath my cutting board. That is because I am at my house and I am showing you this video and partaking in this. So in the classroom, you will be having a damp towel underneath the cutting board. So these are all your ingredients, and all these ingredients go into the mason jar. This is what the brine looks like when it's boiling. Once it starts boiling, you turn it down to 2, stir it like so, and then you turn the knob off and let it hang out. Switch burners as well, because then it cools down faster. Now, before the ingredients and veggies go into the mason jar, you will be measuring out a half a teaspoon of dill weed. Now, then you strategically guys, layer the mason jar. Do not just pick the veggies up and throw them in. They need to be strategically layered, like so. The dill will go in third, in the middle of the mason jar, and then you can toss the garlic, 3 cloves of garlic in, and then layer the top again. Now, you might have extra veggies, which is totally fine. If you want to eat them, go ahead. But they should not be in the trash, nor they should be on the floor. Once you have strategically layered the veggies in the mason jar, the stove operator will take the brine and pour it over the veggies. Again, strategically layered, not just thrown in. Last but not least, we will be adding the brine. So you should stir the brine before it goes in. And then use the measuring cup to spoon the brine into the mason jar, like so, until you see all of the brine fills up the mason jar. Now, if you have leftover brine, that's okay, no big deal. Make sure the brine gets into the sink and not on the floor. Once the brine is filled the mason jar, it will look like this. And the last step you will be doing is adding the lid and bringing it to myself so I can label it with a piece of tape and put it in the fridge. And this will take 10 days. Thanks. Before labeling it with tape and bring it to myself, you need to let it cool down before you put the lid on. Let it cool down. You will hear that popping sound, like so. You shake it, give it a little shake. And this is the end result. In 10 days, we will open up and enjoy.